for the side of HANWHA Life Esports now, you have a lot of zoning and a lot of damage up front here with this Anivia and the Aurora, if they are the solo laners. If it's support Anivia, then that becomes a little bit more of a question mark here. And I think they'll save that flex till the very end. So I'm expecting an 80 carry to be locked in here right now for Gumayusi, and Jhin looks to be the angle. And because they have so much up front with this Pantheon and the Aurora, I think the Jhin can do quite well here. They also have a lot of damage if that Anivia goes mid.
Yeah, absolutely. This feels very comfortable. I mean, it is Gumayusi's Jhin after all, so that's right down his alley. And as you mentioned, you keep the door open for a whole host of flexible options for HANWHA Life Esports. But T1, as first pick team, they will get a chance to pick their bottom lane duo together. Thinking about something with the Neeko, potentially. Keria's Neeko, very strong.
Kind of covers your bases against the Anivia a little bit because of the ranged challenge power that Neeko has. If you go for the Caitlyn with this, it is pretty finesse and pretty tricky to play, especially in the mid game. You could go Misfortune here, but you really only have the Pop Blossom for setup, so it's not going to be an easy call either way, and the newly popular Caitlyn is going to be the choice here for Pays instead. And now we're going to find out where this Anivia is going. I think mid makes the most sense here, just because you need all of that damage to make the Jhin feel as valuable as he needs to in this draft. And now they'll have the Nautilus for some additional engage here.
Yeah, it's also Delight, which, you know, we have a lot of different styles. But all right, let's hop onto the Rift here. HANWHA Life Esports, T1. HANWHA Life coming off of a victory, T1 a loss against KT, who right now might be our strongest team in the LCK. I think when you defeat both Gen.G and T1, you kind of earn that right.
I tweeted it yesterday.
For week one, right?
I think you get to. I think you get to hold that for now. You definitely get to hold on to the crown. It is a very temporary crown that Chronicler often wore every week at the end of prediction check. But KT's wearing it right now.
That's the last thing I expected you to say. Like, I know how we love to throw shots at Mao House all the time, but very early on in this cast.
His was a little bit more permanent, so I'm trying to, you know, push it into maybe KT could win an LCK title. Who knows? I do want to point out that we've talked about Zeka's champion pool, how we were pretty surprised that he played the Ziggs very well because that doesn't really suit his playstyle. The Aurora, much more in his wheelhouse. He has never played a professional game of Anivia in his career. So perhaps that's part of the reason why they give it to Zeus, who does have experience with the pick here in the top lane, besides the jungle reasons I mentioned with the Pantheon. So just other reasons to consider.
Yeah, good trading early on from Zeka as well. Figured did do a good job of avoiding a lot of the damage in the second hard trade that they did go for. But this time around, Zeka, especially with the, flash away already, and we have an early gank here from Kanavi. Pays in a lot of trouble. Nice block here from Keria, but he's still going to go down, and he will have to sacrifice first blood to Kanavi's Pantheon already.
A flash here used for Pays. 2 flashes in exchange. Great call from Keria, knowing that to keep Pays in the lane is way more important than his life. To sacrifice himself there to block was actually massive, but even still, a big win here for HANWHA Life Esports in this early game. Pays surely.
Okay.
He's got a ward there, so I mean.
He's like, you can't kill me. And playing up, he does have also Oner, who he went. Oh no, that's not Oner, it's Keria. Okay. Neeko getting to me already. Oner did take the blue buff and then went back to his jungle, but now we have a TP aggressively from Zeka, it looks like.
Notice also the back timing here of Doran, because they saw Kanavi on that ward in his jungle, and Doran was pretty far up, and he's like, you know, I think I might take this opportunity to go ahead and grab my tier and back away. So he actually puts a lot of pressure on there, does delay his jungle to look for that play with the TP. Down here, really quick flash timing from Pays. Keria blocks the hook here, which saves Pays' life, but will cost him his own. The kill goes to Kanavi, and HANWHA Life Esports are on the board.
Yeah, definitely a good feeling to get the Pantheon, who is 4-0 right now in the LCK.
Yeah.
First blood already.
Now Doran is down TP, so if he does get ganked, it will really hurt, whereas Zeus has been able to hold onto his there in the top side. hasn't backed yet. And we will see Kanavi heading down towards the bottom side of the map again. And we'll see. It looks like Zeus is going to take his opportunity to buy now. So nothing too crazy coming from that timing that we saw earlier from Doran. This laning phase is going pretty well here for Zeka. And BDD crushed Faker in their matchup. It was unfortunately for Faker not very close.
Yeah. I mean, BDD always prides himself on being a very strong laner, hates when he loses lane. And did a good job there. Zeka also looks very strong on the Ziggs, as you mentioned, in the laning against the Azir. And nowadays it just feels like Azir isn't, you know, the powerhouse that we always knew and did not love here at the LCK. Because so many different picks are winning into it. We saw the Ziggs, the Aurora now. We had Ryze as well doing really well into this. Flash forward, Faker gonna dodge a little bit, nearly dies, down to below 6 health is what I saw. And very close, nice play here from Zeka, pushing him out of the lane.
Yeah, but it will mean that Zeka is now down his flash. So they are even in that regard. And Faker will have his up first.
We got the...
Literally 1 HP.
Yeah, literally. 1 damage off lethal.
Now Zeka's possibly dead?
Oh no, but Kanavi is here. I mean, I think Zeka will be totally fine, and now Oner in an awkward spot.
See if he has to flash.
Pantheon is just insane, and yeah, there's the flash away. The spear is not going to hit, as now in the bottom lane we've got more trading. Guma super low, but he will stick around.
As his refillables, refillable ticking. This is going to be pretty tough to dive, though. Now that he does have that health back, we'll see if Keria can land this binding.
Yeah, I think if they get the binding, we could see a trap. There's the trap, there's the net, and oh, he's so close. There it is. Pays takes him down. And just like that, they will punish Gumayusi sticking around under the turret.
That one ranged minion will keep Keria safe, and he'll get out here despite Delight's dredge line. So 2 good plays from Keria in this early game. The first one defensive to keep Pays alive. The second one here to bind Guma under turret so that Pays could set up the trap and finish the kill. It's being a huge winner here. Has pickaxe in inventory now as Oner was going to come up to potentially set something up here on the top side, but will not amount to anything. We'll watch this again in the mid lane from Faker's perspective here. Gets the shield. Yeah. Mid no flash, he says, as he walks away with 1 health.
No reaction, really. Let's see how Guma got chunked here. Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a yikes. Has to barrier early. He has his refillables, so as you can see, he gets quite a bit of health back, but with the wave crashing here, Keria gets set up, and Delight can't block for that, so as long as Keria lines it up well, it is going to be a kill.
Yeah, in fact, the fact that he walked in front of it actually empowered it, so not making Guma's life very easy down on the bottom side, but not much he could do regardless, as you mentioned. So yeah, just hit the bindings, I guess, and you will get kills. So that's a good start for the T1 bottom lane. Looks like Doran's trying to get aggressive up on the top side, but not necessarily winning the trade, as Zeus in the extended one will win out in health.
Yep, we'll even up the CS here, approximately, as that will force Jace to back. Does have his TP back online. Pretty quiet early game. Yeah, I don't know.
1 HP again.
Zeka used his ult, we know that much, and Faker did not use his own. Oner will get some of this farm, but that's not really what they wanted.
30 health.
Confirmation went down to 30. So I suppose that's 29 better than last time.
Yeah, improvements here, I guess. He hasn't died, so, you know, there you go. Here's the trade once again. You can see how low he gets, even the ult coming down.
Ooh, the ultimate. That's a replay of that. So the ultimate did slow him there, but it's not quite enough damage at the end, even with electrocute proccing. This is not a replay, although in Doran's head it probably feels like one.
Stewing the dragon here, looks like Oner gonna take this one down early.
Kanavi, Doran has to back here because he took so much damage. Kanavi's top side, they don't know where Kanavi is, and he has his ultimate. He's level 6, so the Jace is once again forced to back. Has a lead in farm and a 230 gold advantage right now, but it's, you know, the Jace that we often see, especially so far here in week 1, has generated larger leads, and there's been no jungle attention topside, and this Anivia is just holding her own. So feeling really good right now if you're Zeus. on the top side of the map.
Let's see if Keria can pull this one off. He is the front minion. Zeka gonna go forward. He does dodge the root though, and he will be okay. Trying to trade aggressively as the light was coming up here, and also we got a Jin, Guma, and Kanavi all around here, but Faker just able to push him away and avoid the majority of the damage.
A lot committed here for HANWHA Life Esports, but that feels like it's enough to maybe start grubs. Zeus is forced to flash.
Yeah, good flash to get away, and now Kanavi's ult is kind of doesn't really do anything. I mean,
if they
he already flashed away, they were already disengaging.
If they just get the grubs for free, then it feels like all of those tools that were used feel worth it, right? Especially because the Dragon's not up for 4 minutes. T1 were able to get the first Dragon already. So this is kind of HANWHA's response here, is try to get Faker, try to get his flash. They got his Emperor's Divide. You know, Guma commits his ult, Kanavi ults topside there to try to turn that topside play around. But the ultimate win really is just picking up the grubs for all of that. I think they wanted a little bit more, but they still get that, and their ultimates will still be available for the next major team fight.
Yeah, not so bad. The 3 grubs coming through. And we'll have to see what happens later on in the side lane. I mean, the Anivia eventually can get decently tanky. You can see he already has a couple of ruby crystals in there. And he is going to land the stun. His ult was not there, but guess who is here? It is Kanavi. Doran with the knockback and the flash. And he does get away for now. The spear, though, very dangerous, as he will dodge that with the speed from the phase rush.
All right, Kanavi's flash down now for Doran's. Doran's, I think, a little bit more valuable, but still does extend the range of Pantheon's engage. So, again, a lot of near deaths for T1 in this game that have been HANWHA Life's bane a little bit. If the few more hit points went through, they would, you know, have a much larger advantage in this game, or really an advantage to speak of. As right now, it's pretty dead even, but T1 do have about a kill the advantage in gold, as well as that first dragon. Keria once again.
This one a little obvious. He's still going to get him with the roots, and the follow-up not there. Faker did have ult and flash, but elected not to go in on it.
Okay. See if this amounts to anything here. Faker still holds his flash and ult. And everything is just going to quiet down.
Yeah. Kanavi was nearby. There's actually, I think there's a second ward over there that maybe the controller didn't quite clear out yet. But now we're going to open up down on the bottom side. Pace has to flash away and goes for the minion. And the last shot does hit Keria, so that's the second time Keria going to help out his brother Pace.
He's doing a lot of work this game, Keria is. Between his roams, his defensive setups, his blinding, his Zeus.
Flash on through. Zeus still does not have his flash, but I think with the egg under the turret, he should be fine. And now Oner walled up against the wall, and he barely found a little pocket here to just get away as 1E comes through, another stun, and in the ult he dies. Zeus 1v2s them.
And that's with the pocket, right? That's with him being out of turret range. Zeus still able to pull it down. And this is an Anivia, so if you get the egg, it feels like a win, but that was a lot of time spent when the bottom side of the map is completely in tatters, right? Like, the enemy jungler is not defending this. He's pushing your bottom side, so you need to get something out of that, and something out of that is not a -1 to your KDA. One in the D column. And Zeus does not lose his passive, right? Ends up getting the kill there. And it's a huge disaster here for T1.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're going to take a look at the replay as well on how Zeus played this out.
And look at what happens on the opposite side of the map as well as he's communicating this. They start to push the pressure into Pays. And even though Oner barely gets out of turret range here, he misses the wind, becomes lightning. And just too much damage here. Then this double stun means that Doran really can't even impact the play either and needs to get out, or he is going to be a second to die. And you can feel the pressure here for Oner. He is not happy with how that went down.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus did such a great job of essentially dodging all the damage so that he didn't go into the eggs, that the ult was not canceled, so that he was able to throw out the stun. Just a lot of little micro movements that made that play possible. And it was very impressive as everybody was oohing and aahing here in the stadium. Now it looks like we're going to try to fight for the second Drake. HLE would not like to give over 2 for free to T1. And
I think they're poised to fight for it. His Oner's going to get caught here.
And Delight just going to throw out the ult. Hits 2, actually, and does get away with this flash. But
Gets the Crescent Guard.
very aggressive to go on in here. They're going pretty deep for this one. Delight's super low. Zeka makes his way over. Delight is down, but so is Doran. But now that's 2 kills for T1. Guma doing a number here to Keria, though, as he's going to have to back away. A pretty even fight, all things considered, but T1 have their jungler.
T1 have their jungler. They don't have a lot of low health bars, though, so securing the dragon post-fight is going to be, I think, a bit of a tall ask. So they will just kind of reset here, and the dragon will live to fight another day. The big crux of this is the fact that Faker isn't here yet, and Zeka's on the flank. Because I think Oner wanted to try to split with this Crescent Guard and kind of messes it up here, and now loses his Crescent Guard. And this is the go button here for HANWHA Esports, because Zeka is here so quickly. And even though Faker was able to join the fight, Zeka gets in and actually sets up the ultimate. And with the Between Worlds, HANWHA Esports think they can kind of chip away. Keria barely survives. He goes down to 2 for 2, but they did enough damage to deny the dragon there. T1, though, with the double kill there, end up pulling ahead in gold. And we're going to reset for another fight here, potentially. But a lot of those critical ultimates for HANWHA Esports are down. Faker here on the side still holds his Emperor's Divide, still has Flash.
Kanavi's still going to be able to start this one up, it looks like. Oner is going to get back here with Crescent Guard very soon. Looks like about maybe 15 seconds out. Nope, 9 seconds, but looks like they're just going to give this one away. Delight is pushing in and is going to hook and takes a ton of damage. Does not have Flash from the first fight. And now Oner very strong on the front line, up a level as well. On Kanavi, he's going to go in. It goes to the Aurora. And now Faker's here, sweeps the 2 of them up. And it will be 2 kills for T1.
And this Gumayusi Jin that is so famed just cannot output the damage required, I think, in these fights. We see T1 get fairly low with a lot of these members, but they're the ones who are able to get the definitive kills. They're the ones that are able to actually fight. Faker has the late ultimate there just to guarantee that it is a win for them. However, as you mentioned, the Dragon did go over to HANWHA Esports. It's Ocean Soul. So now the team feeling super great about the fact that they got these Dragons early, but it will affect the side lanes a little bit later on. As HANWHA Esports have the setup here in this fight, but again, like, watch what happens with Guma. He's like, there's too many members nearby, puts a little bit of damage in and then leaves, okay? And then while this is happening, Oner has his Crescent Guard through. Faker's gonna come in here for the sweep, and it's just a wash. Guma just cannot impact the play anymore, and Zeka did not have his ultimate from the previous fight. So it's just T1 better grouped for it, and again, it's not a bad play by Guma, it's just that he's Jin. So
yeah,
don't think he could really challenge Pays in that situation.
Yeah, not much he could do, really. I think the fact that Delight overextended to try to essentially zone them away, especially when I don't think he even had ult. He had no ults, no flash, no heal. So he was just kind of putting his body on the line, going out there, and generally pretty good at walking that line, but nowadays maybe a little bit over-aggressive. And he does kind of bait his team into that one. But they got the Dragon, so we'll have to wait and see. At least they won that flip. Easily could have gone to Oner if he hit the smite this time. Kind of funny that it did go to Zeka, of all people. Yeah. And so HANWHA Esports don't need to worry about a fast Ocean Soul in this game.
Right now, I think they have vision that Kanavi is bottom side here, so they want to try to make something happen onto Zeka, who does have his ult and flash. So pretty tricky to dive. In fact, it doesn't look like they're even going to get this plate here. So something maybe was cooking there, but I do kind of realize it's not worth it. Doran will get the stop on the back here and should be able to, with this next wave, grab that plate. And we're going to reset for a potential Herald fight now. Zeus does have his teleport. And Zeka wanted to back there so he could get back to lane to be able to collapse onto the Herald, but now I think he's going to have to stay here. And because Doran has TP, he actually gets the opportunity to back and buy before this fight. The margins on this one are pretty thin, actually. It's really difficult for either team to confidently start it right now, but I think T1 got some pretty solid advantages before this fight takes off because HANWHA can't start it to punish that back there from Doran. Faker has TP in the bottom lane as well, and he has Prio. This Herald would open up the mid lane very likely. 2 plates apiece on the mid turrets. Whoever gets that will open up the map in a big, hefty way.
It feels like all of our LCK teams are really on the ball about getting the Heralds. If you do, you get the Heralds and use it right before the 3rd Dragon and use that to essentially get a Dragon lead. In this case, though, got to be careful. I feel like there will be a lot of, weighing of value in terms of yeah, we got the Herald, but we don't want to all in on just individual Ocean Drake and stuff like that. So it will be interesting to see how the macro does play out. Faker is able to take down the bottom turret already. That's the first turret of the game. And that will be a nice amount of gold in the pockets of T1. They already have a pretty hefty lead at this point in the game, about 3,000.
Yeah, and just haven't been able to see Kanavi use his global impact all too much in this game to punish sides. You know, there's no grubs for Faker, yet he's the one who takes that turret down. 3 grubs here for HANWHA Esports, but top turret still has 3 plates, and whoever's been on the top side against Doran has just been under turret, even though there's a Pantheon that could have potentially come up there and looked for the assist. I mean, it's not that Kanavi didn't try. He spent a decent amount of time topside here trying to make that impact, but hasn't led to the lead that they were hoping for. The big problem here is that there's a big gap in terms of second items for 80 carries. IE is done here for Pays, whereas the rapid fire cannon is put together here for Guma, and Faker's already quite large in this game, so there's 2 threats, plus this Jace that can poke. And for HANWHA Esports, how do you engage now with this Pantheon Nautilus? The follow-up has to be so swift with your Aurora, and the Jhin has to be in position to follow up too. And this Xin Zhao, that's kind of in the way, is so frustrating. Not to mention you got to deal with clones. There's a bit of a fight here over the Krugs between mid laners.
I feel like Faker got every single one against Anivio, which is pretty cool. Not sure if he actually did, but it looks like he got the vast majority of it. As now we have an engaged Oner running forward, and yeah, Kanavi just falls apart like a piece of paper. Oner super tanky on the Xin Zhao. Now we got a trade up in the top side that looked like it was going heavily for Doran.
That was just bizarre. I mean, Delight's not having his best game here. He's going in confidently a lot of the time, but that's not exactly what I meant when I said there's a Xin Zhao kind of standing in the way. They were just, I mean, not only is he tanky, but he's Xin Zhao. He had friends there, and they had no damage. That's a Jhin to try to follow up. So not looking great here as T1 will turn this into a 3rd dragon. Well, the 3rd dragon will be theirs, their 2nd dragon of the game.
Yeah. And generally in the LCK, a lot of our teams are clean enough to, okay, we got a big trade up on the top side. Doran getting very low.
They committed a TP for this, so they've got to make something happen.
Zeus feels a little slow. No, I think he got it. Yeah, the slow comes in, the flash, and actually the flash wall into the stun. Great mechanics here from the side of Zeus. They're going so deep for this, though. And yes, the Nautilus ult is going to hit. They really want to take down Keria. I'm not even sure they're going to be able to, as nope, Kanavi once again overstepping the line, and he gets punished for it.
I just need to make a Kanavi reel, okay? And it will have lowlights and highlights in it, just the same.
But he's always going the same direction. It's weird.
You're like, okay, look, you got the win. You got the W. Well played on the TP, Zeus. But then, okay, this was bizarre, to say the least. They know it's Keria. They want to engage on it, but there's a Xin Zhao here. Have control vision in the brush. I don't know about that one. This one here, they commit the teleport, right? Zeka wants to get this kill. I think they realize, okay, he's going to retreat. There's a ward in this brush, but Zeus gets the slow from his ultimate and then waits very patiently here. Goes in, gets the wall, gets the Q that goes through everything there. And Keria here, it's like, just let him go. It was... like, what are we doing?
What did Keria do to you?
I mean, he's having a really great game on this Nico, but... Let's take your small advantage, just get the turret on the top side, you know? I know you're behind in this game, but sometimes just like be happy with what you got.
Yeah. And now Guma stepping up to Pays, who is just so far ahead in terms of damage. Now he is going to open up the curtains here. Oner is still Xin Zhao, still with the Crescent Guard. He is going to have to flash away, though, from the stun. Look at the damage that Pays is already doing, though, in this game. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, he's just got a zeal on top of that IE, but... he is really taking names. He's about to hit level 14. And this is a T1 Baron if I've ever seen one. And they have so much
to
vision.
Do it after that play where Delight and Kanavi, you know, they both went too aggressive, and he wanted to do it at 20 minutes, but now they're going to do it here at 23.
Okay, traps here will buy some extra time. T1 want to look for the turn with Keria.
Yeah, looks like they are going to get him as they use quite a lot, but they will take out Zeka. And now the flash forward here onto Zeus. Tons of damage already being done to this Anivia, who does have Egg. And there's no Empress Divine still, but maybe just enough poke damage from afar as Faker sees the line. And he does pull it off as that's 2 kills, and maybe now they'll go for the 2-1 Baron.
Sunny side up on that one, Valdez. This looks like not just a Baron, but a Baron plus 2 kills here, as there is just absolutely no way. I mean, if Kanavi goes for the steal...
The Guma steal? Okay, Kanavi actually just going to send it as... and he's going to get it!
Unbelievable.
Did Oner smite at like 3,000 health?
I don't know how that happened. I mean, Pantheon Q smite is strong, but...
We need to see a replay of that.
Wasn't he also on vision on that ward? Like, T1 had vision of him. I'm pretty sure they could have just been like, okay, hold, kill him, and then smite. Let's see. So this is where Keria is lurking here in this brush when they start the Baron the first time. They catch Zeka and destroy him, and then they're able to catch Zeus as well here. It's a really quick play from Faker. T1's team fighting and their map movements have been phenomenal this game, despite Delight's best attempt to block there. But I'm more interested in what happens here on the steal. Okay, we're gonna see it from Kanavi's perspective, so I can't actually tell if T1 know or not.
Yeah, he's just like, I have ult, I can ult.
Just a Q smite?
Yeah, I saw 1600.
Yeah.
I saw he had his cooldown, and then he just Q smited. I mean,
guess they didn't have
difficult
vision
against Pantheon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't have vision of him ulting to try to hold there at like 2,500 health, so he couldn't do that.
Yeah. So
it's a good play from him because Pantheon smite is really strong, and with his Q, of course, and so he gets away with it. And that's HANWHA Esports denying a Baron. We'll see if they can utilize it themselves, because they do have multiple Barons alive here. 3. Actually, just the 2, in fact. Looks like Zeus did not get it. Thought he had respawned already. But Guma and Delight. So it's not amazing for them, but it feels like a big denial of T1. I just don't know if this draft gets stronger the longer we go. I mean, the Rod of Ages has been complete here for Zeus for a little while. There's still a Jhin comp, whereas the Azir and the Caitlyn are getting a little bit scarier.
It feels like Zeka's really far behind now as well, and the Pantheon also fell very flat early on, so you didn't get all that much value out of it. It's now the flash forward, but Faker does have the shield, and now the Crescent Guard comes in defensively. They're looking fantastic, T1 that is, as a lot of damage does go in. And that's before Doran even really comes into this fight, as now he's considering it, and he's gonna get flashed on. Flashes away with a knockback. T1 thinking about it, but now they're just gonna turn their eyes on the Drake.
Now we're going in here for Soul Point for T1. And Zeka's just, you know, he's not tanky, he's Aurora. He's just a mage, so some of these collapses are not working out the way he wants them to. At least HLE with the Baron are able to get this inner turret. They're looking for Paze, but he gets over the wall.
Yeah, he gets away, that's the most important part. They could be part of this fight now. They're just corralled. I mean, we had a TP from Faker up into the top lane. He's ready to go, and now Doran is back as well. And it looks like HLE with not much left in the tank, focusing the Xin Zhao, just being pulled apart one by one. And even just charging through the Anivia ults, T1 do not care, as it looks like at least Zeus will get away.
They got Zeus TP out. Guma is not going to be so lucky. Get some of these minions, I suppose.
He wanted it. He's not quite going to get a lot of them. T1 really taking off in this game, despite giving away the Baron.
Yeah, it was pretty short-lived Baron. Not accomplished much, but again, it was a denial. It was a steal away. And this is the TP from Zeka, which it's just seen from a mile away. Keria just flashes on him. They collapse with Paze there. And on the other side of the fight, there's a Sun Disc turret put up. Kanavi's trying to go in deep. Just not able to do enough damage. You know, there's no follow-up. It's Anivia Jhin. Like, your damage was in Zeka, and he instantly died. And here it's HANWHA on the wrong side of the map, right? There's not really much they can do. 2 down at the beginning of the fight. And then Zeus is able to buy enough space here to get the TP off. Guma is a Jhin. So.
You've said that a lot in this game.
I mean, he is. Like, that's...
He's still Jhin, yeah.
I mean,
it's
like,
true.
I say it because it's not his fault, you know? And he's really good at this pick, but there are limitations.
It's all right. And Delight, it's not all right for him, as he will go down once again.
Kanavi is 2-6 this game on the Pantheon, and it looks like he is going to be Pantheon's first loss of LCK 2026. Just was not able to make the global impact in this game.
Right,
minus the
root
steal.
Here onto Doran. Looks like he's in a lot of trouble, so they at least get the shutdown onto him. But Faker wants a bit more as he is just tearing Kanavi apart. There's nothing they can do. Faker super low. Zeus with 1E. And a Dream will take him down, but the value's still there for T1. Faker won't care that he does go down, and they can just push bot.
T1 have really just one Baron left to end the game. It looks like at this point, 50 seconds till that one spawns. Faker will respawn, and they'll be able to set up for a challenge. I think HANWHA Esports have one more fight in them, and that alone won't win them the game, but certainly could be an opportunity to get back in if T1 messed the Baron up, but that's just not something that we expect. Double root here for Keria, who, by the way, then uses his belt to escape. They killed the light. We'll see what transpires here. Okay, Doran just kind of gets baited, gets caught by Guma. Gets then stunned by Zeus, and Kanavi has the follow-up. We saw this earlier. Thing is, you know, Faker's pretty big. He does a lot of damage here. Goes into the brush. And even though he dies, it's well worth it for him. They also get the egg, which is a big win for a potential future fight.
Yeah. It did look like Zeus got a lot of golds from that kill. I think it was 1,050. So you can see that he's actually got a pretty sizable lead on Doran. But it's just one champion. I think as a whole, and speaking of this one champion, wow, the crits are coming through. Zeus is just, oh, the wall actually very nice, but it just doesn't matter. Faker this time, though, is going to go down in the mid lane.
Can HANWHA Esports turn this into something is the really tricky thing. And Power Recall is here for Zeka as they're trying to open up the base at the same time. He's going to be able to come over here and defend. If they could somehow set up something with Delight's flank, he has ult. They could maybe turn this into a Baron. T1 need to be careful. I mean, Kanavi does not have ults. Keria's going in.
Guma just caught over the wall. Not respecting his former teammate, but now they're going very deep here. Oner, though, in the front line, and there's the burst from Doran. Takes out the Jhin. But again, got to be careful about overextending. They still want to take down this inhibitor if possible. I think with Pays at full health and with how strong he is on 4 items, and Oner with GA, I think they're just going to be able to do it.
That made me very nervous because of the rotation that Delight had coming down and the damage that was available there. As we're going to go all the way back here to the pick on the Zeus. You said it's just one champion, and then I was going to say it's just 0 champion. He does interrupt Pays' ult, which is very cool. But then down he goes. Going back to this play here in the mid lane. Zeka going on to Faker. The dredge line does not connect. Faker gets out initially here. His ultimate is a bit of a whiff, but Guma can fall up from so far away. And then here, Delight's coming through, so I'm like, oh, T1, you know, you could just play it safe. You could back away. Keria says no, because if we take Guma down to basically 0, so much of their damage is gone. As alive, Faker's going to get pushed out of the mid lane, but it's going to amount to anything. Doran trades his life for this one, but like you said, in this remaining 3v3, because the main carry is full health, they can't push down that inhibitor. Now we're looking for that dragon.
Yeah, it's just gone. T1 in live, they just take down the Soul. And HLE didn't really look like they had much of an answer. They were trying to catch Faker in mid, but once they weren't able to do that, the Soul was gone. And now you've got the Xin Zhao, who's so tanky. They're still going to go all in onto him, just getting a lot of CC in, and yet he's still going to flash forward with a GA. Does not care even one bit. As the wall comes down, the ult is there, the damage, they finally take out Oner, but it is just Oner. Zeka bouncing back and forth, but look at the crits coming out from Pays. As one ult might do it, but Delight at least is going to block that one. As it's getting a little bit fast and loose, it feels like.
Yeah, but ultimately, you know, T1 are able to keep their main carries alive. You killed their jungler, and in return, HANWHA's jungler go down, but that's a trade up for T1 with this kind of gold lead. Is Faker now the target again?
Yeah, they get that root down once again with the Jhin. Doran says, get down, Mr. President.
The base is completely open on the top side.
Doran, oh man, the phase rush value, insane. He is going to get away.
The Nexus turrets are taking hefty damage here for HANWHA Esports. So they need to stop the chase, reset here, and we'll watch this again. Aggressive plays, I think, for HANWHA, because you know, if you get an opportunity to dredge line even one player, it's the opportunity you've got to take, because this game is, you're 6,000, 7,000 gold behind at this point. You've been that behind for a while. And they drop the Anivia ult on top here. They're trying to isolate Oner. Zeus just so squishy. Takes so much damage back. Zeka does a lot of burst. And they're just really trying to slow the tempo here. But look at what the carries can do, right? Like Guma just is like, I'm trying to kite. And what's the phrase I've been using? He's Jin.
Guma is Jin.
Yeah, so...
He's Jin.
And again, when you trade like that, the team that has 4 Fed members is like, yeah, that's the 4v4 I want to take.
Well, Keria this time says no Pantheon steals. He will pay his life for it, though. As this time, Oner's got the smite down. Zeka trying to keep them around with his ults, but not really able to do so. So that will be T1 getting the Baron.
All right. Pei's still deathless, by the way, in this game. Pretty impressive stuff. I think he's 5-0 and 10. GA going to make it even tougher to kill him at this point. The inhibitor is going to respawn in 2 minutes, so we'll see what T1 can make of this.
Yeah, it's I would assume they just wait for Keria to respawn. We got about 10 seconds left, and they could just group and try to push that bottom lane turret. Looks like there's only 1 plate left on that one.
My expectation is you can kind of 1-3-1 this, or you can 4-1 this, and then set up for the pressure on the bottom lane, maintain prio for the Elder. This game is effectively won, but it has taken a little while for the Nexus to explode, right? And for T1, you just need to make sure you don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, there's still the Elder.
Yeah, the GA is coming up for Oner, again, relatively soon, and there's no reason to try to just send it and end the game now when you could just play through your incredibly fed carries, especially Pei's, by the way, who's 3,500 up in this game.
We got 2 Caitlyn's just running through the jungle.
They're gonna
something
4-1 the bottom turret while keeping Doran in the mid lane, stacking a big wave here. Anivia can delay games, as we've seen a lot of the time, especially when she has money. So
and blue buff.
That's a good point. Kind of unlimited mana, unlimited cooldowns.
You literally just stand there with your ult and you say, well, you're not pushing this lane. Doran's still going to flash away from this, just to make 100% sure. And just the fact that they went in onto Doran means the bottom lane, Anivia or not, will be broken open.
I Vigor has so much agency, level 18, flash and ult, and there's no Nautilus ult. He can kind of do whatever he wants. He also has Banshee's Veil, by the way. So when he wants to make the play, he gets to say when and where, and there's just nothing HANWHA Life can do about it. The top inhibitor has respawned, but how long will it last? Is the real question, as this mid turret is going to fall, the inhibitor with it, and T1 are looking to just siege to end. There's still 40 seconds left on this Baron. If HANWHA lose anybody, it's GG.
They're trying to once again go for Doran here, and he does not have his flash, and now he doesn't have GA. But there's the engage from Keria, gonna find 3. And that might just be enough to break this one open. Kanavi doesn't have much of a health bar. Faker gonna go golden, and Pei's on the ult of the Anivia. Does not seem to care, just flashes forward and gets his face into it. Guma is trying his best to try to push them away, but I think the wallets are just too heavy, and they will look for Guma right at the end. They do get him, as this Nexus will fall. Triple kill for the side of Doran, a Quadra actually. Looking for the Penta, 1 shot blast could do it. And instead the Nexus is going to fall. GG, T1.